feel so hard to start anything new, whether that be a workout plan, a meal planning system, a diet, whatever you want to do? Why does it feel so hard at first? What I'm going to do today is I'm going to tell you exactly why it feels so hard and what you can do about it to get past that initial ick phase that comes with making any new change and trying to adopt any new habit. If we haven't met before, my name is Tanessa Shears. I'm a weight loss coach for successful career-focused women with 10 pounds left to lose. I'm the creator of the Diet Makeover program, and I'm here to share my best tips with you today. So I'm so glad you're here. If you're watching, say hi below in the comments and hit like to let me know that you're here. Let's get started. So basically, whenever we make a change to our habits, whatever it might be, health, fitness, food, what happens is that is new for our brain, right? So our brain is designed to do 3 things really well. Our brain's job, and we are entirely motivated by these 3 things. Are you ready? Our brain is motivated to seek out pleasure and feel really good all the time, to avoid anything painful or discomfort, and to stay really efficient, doing the things we do best at. That's our brain's job. So whenever you try to implement a new habit, a new strategy, try something new, try to get healthier, you're basically putting the brakes on all of the things your brain likes to do best. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the example of what exactly is happening inside your brain when you set the goal of, okay, that's it. I'm so tired of eating like this all the time. What I'm going to do is I am going to start meal planning and eating healthy. So that's your goal. If you've decided that's it, no more, we're eating healthy. Here's what happens. So most of us have always used food to solve for our emotions, right? Meaning we're bored, we eat, we celebrate with friends, we eat, we don't like work, we eat, we're stressed out, we eat, and we're so conditioned to that, right? Just eating in response to feelings and eating in response to just hanging out with people. It's such a normal part of our life. But when you start to eat healthy and take care of your body, you can't just eat because you're bored and eat cheesies because you're not feeling great that day or you're tired or you're exhausted after a day of work. So what you have to do is essentially you have to start telling your brain, no. No, we are not doing that anymore. Your brain's job is to seek out things that feel good and pleasure. So when you're feeling emotions that are like, ugh, I don't want to feel bored, I don't want to feel lonely, I don't want to feel stressed out or tired or angry, and you've turned to food to help comfort that, when you start saying no to yourself, we are not doing that anymore, we are eating to fuel our body, you are essentially not letting your brain seek out pleasure. So what this does is it makes you feel super uncomfortable. You can't just indulge in a bag of chips or a box of cookies to make the discomfort go away. So essentially you are no longer letting your brain seek out pleasure to solve a problem. Here's the thing. The only problem that food solves is hunger. Yet we like to use it to manage our emotional states. So this is one of the big things that happens when you start changing your habits. Your brain can't use food the same way to get pleasure. So we need to get it from other sources in our lives, whether that be relationships or going for walks or exercising or reading or journaling or lighting a scented candle. Something that brings us good feelings in a way that doesn't have to do with food. All right, so that's the first thing that happens. The second thing is when we start to change our food plan, we eat healthier foods, you start to tell yourself this story. I'm missing out. I can't have fun at parties. I feel so restricted. This is hard. I don't get to eat the foods I want. And all of these thoughts feel really lousy in your body. They feel uncomfortable and your brain is like, ugh, look at this. We're restricted. We're not enjoying this. I don't want to eat kale. I want to eat a pizza. All of this is discomfort. Your brain's second job, remember the first one was to be comfortable and seek out pleasure. The second one was to avoid feeling pain, feeling all this discomfort. And essentially what you have done is you have created more discomfort. So your brain starts to freak out and go, this is a terrible idea. What are you doing? Now here is where the brain gets really sneaky. You have 2 levels of your brain, all right? You have the brain, the primitive brain that we evolved with as the human species. That one is responsible for urges and desires and seeking food and all this seek pleasure, avoid pain, be efficient. That's that brain's job. But as humans, we're unique because we've developed this higher level functioning, that executive part of our brain that makes us be able to think about thinking, plan ahead of time, and make decisions. Well, the problem is all of these impulses are being driven by that primitive brain. So we need to start thinking from our thinking brain, our evolved brain, and being like, you know what? I'm I'm choosing to eat this way and not letting those urges creep up, because what that primitive brain is really good at doing is poking you right where it hurts. So that urge for that bag of potato chips, so you've just said no, you're now not getting pleasure from food, you're saying, though I'm not eating that, your body is like, this is bad, I don't like this, so here's what your brain goes to do, and this is across the board what happens when you start to change a habit. Your brain goes, okay, I know how to get her to eat that pizza. So your brain starts thinking things like, I want that, and it just sounds small and nice and convenient. Doesn't that sound nice? Like, I want that. And if you don't respond, because you told your brain no, you don't respond to I want that, it goes, I think we should really have that. And it escalates that thought. And then it gets into, well, we can just have it this once. Once won't hurt. Everyone else is having it. Why are you so restricted all the time? This is awful. Do you really want to feel like this for the rest of your life? And your brain keeps elevating the excuses and the justifications of why you should throw your goals out the window. Your brain's job is to get you back to seeking pleasure, avoiding pain, and being efficient. And here's the thing. Your brain has had oodles of practice getting you to eat what it wants to eat because it's addicted to the sugars and the flours and the processed foods. Your brain knows exactly what button to push with you to get you to eat it. So this is what you need to identify. You need to hear that it starts out as just like, oh, I want that. And it ramps it up until your brain can find a reason or an excuse that you're just like, well, that makes sense. You're right. My birthday only comes once a year. I should be able to enjoy myself with friends. I shouldn't have to eat like this to lose weight. Your brain will find that reason, and as soon as it does, everything will feel like, well, I'll start again on Monday. And this is what happens to us over and over again. So we need to know that our brain is designed to do this. So the third thing our brain will do is it wants to stay efficient. So as soon as you start to change your habits around your nutrition, you have to educate yourself. You have to have new routines. You have to put a plan in place on when you're going to prep your meals. You have to eat different things. That might mean packing your food. There are all of these new skills that you're learning. And here's the thing. We know the first couple times you learn a new skill, you're not that good at it. And you're going to mess up. And you're going to experience failure. And you're going to have to figure out what went wrong and try it again and figure out what went wrong and try it again. And, those foods don't work for my body. This one doesn't get me results. You need to figure that out. But the problem is that in order to stay efficient, we can't be learning new skills. Your brain's job is to keep you like, hey, we're good at this. Your brain likes simple things like that autopilot drive to work you do every day. Brushing your teeth. We don't have to think about these things. These are things we just know how to do and we can go unconscious. But when you learn a new skill, bang, your brain needs to be present and conscious. And we don't often let this happen long enough for it to go unconscious. Like, our goal is to get healthy eating and meal planning on autopilot so it doesn't seem like so much work. So your brain's job is eat food, it makes us feel better. All of these terrible thoughts are uncomfortable, so I'm going to think something to get you to eat, and then these new skills are causing us to have to work way harder than we should. This is all not a good idea. This is what's happening inside your brain, and this is 100% why it is so hard to stick to stuff at the beginning. We never give ourselves enough time to get through that phase. So here's the thing. All of what I said is experienced as discomfort in one form or the other. You're either uncomfortable, you're not doing what you want to do, you're having to learn new skills, and we normally don't, instead we think it's the diet's fault. But instead of saying like, oh hey, this is what I need to address, my ability to be uncomfortable while I make this change that matters to me. Instead of learning that skill, it's so uncomfortable and we can't manage it that we go back to eating. We eat the junk food, we grab a pizza, we grab an extra beer, we get the chicken wings, the chips, whatever it is, because it makes all of that go away. So instead of evolving to the next version of ourselves and eating foods that fuel our body and making us feel great and having us hit our goals, all because we don't want to learn how to manage that discomfort. And I love having this conversation with clients all the time, and they're like, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to be uncomfortable. And here's the thing, there is no step-by-step, here's how to be uncomfortable, do this and this. You just gotta do it and understand that you don't have to feel like sitting through the discomfort. You don't have to want to sit through discomfort. You don't even have to like look forward. There's nothing about it that you have to feel like doing. You just have to do it. You have to sit through that discomfort of, I want that food, this isn't fair, this is hard, this takes time, I'm so busy. You have to just sit through that and say, I'm going to do this anyways. That is the only way that creating a new habit goes back on autopilot, so that eating healthy and creating good meals and hitting your ideal weight becomes pleasure. It is avoiding pain, and it is staying efficient because that's your new routine, but the only way through that is that discomfort. So instead of dealing with that discomfort by going back to food and eating, you need to be able to just say, I know I'm not going to want to do it. I know it's not going to feel good. I know I don't know how to do it, but how I'm going to figure it out is by sitting there, being uncomfortable, and being completely okay with it. That is how you get through that beginning phase when stuff seems so hard at the beginning. That whole like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I stick to it? This is how you do it. So I hope that has been super helpful. I would love if you could tag a friend below in the comments that this would resonate with, that you're like, hey, I know your stuff and this might really help you. And if you are here, don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know that you're here and you've enjoyed this. Also, before we go, I have a free no BS guide to a total diet makeover that I share with all of my clients. It is my top 2 strategies on exactly what I do to get through cravings, start a whole food diet, and start eating at a time of day that makes me a fat burning machine. And it's totally free. All you gotta do is enter your name and your email, and I'll send it right to your inbox if you don't have that yet. It's at TanessaShears.com/diet makeover. That's my no BS guide to a total diet makeover. Have a wonderful week, and I will be talking to you next week. Take care. Bye.